What's up, family? Man, today's gonna be cold. I say a lot. It's all good. It's all good. You know what I mean? And you hear me say, man, we have to change our perspective, and that's what we're gonna talk about today. And we're gonna talk about how it's all good. You know what I mean? And because it's all good, we have to change our perspective. You know what I mean? Um, you guys know my story. Many of you that's been in with me for a while, you know my story. Um, Man, you know what I mean? It's crazy because people look at me and it's like, well, how can you say it's all good? You know what I mean? I'm going through this, and this and that, and all this other stuff that's happened to me, and blah 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 blah, and whoopty whoopty whoop. You know what I mean? I'm losing this, da 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 da, and it's like, okay, I understand that. I understand the pain. I understand the suffering. I understand the loss. You know what I mean? I get it. Been there, done that. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean that I've experienced every pain. That doesn't mean that I know exactly how you feel. But I do understand loss. I do understand, pain and suffering. I do understand, just the man, what the heck is going on? Why is this happening? You know what I mean? That frustration. You know what I mean? Stay with me. We're going to go somewhere. Most of us don't have the patience. Most of us don't have the tolerance and the wherewithal to sit back and try to sit in our pain and our suffering, and after we've experienced all of it, to understand the lessons. You know, I was talking to my oldest daughter last night. Sorry about that. I just took my keys out the truck. I was talking to my oldest daughter last night about something she's dealing with. And, I was asking her, okay, well, what did you learn from that? You know, what did you learn? You know, and it comes across as like you're being um not sympathetic. And the reality is, it's not that I'm not sympathetic. I love humanity. I love people. You know what I mean? And it's like I genuinely care. Stay with me. I'm going somewhere. I genuinely care. But the most important thing to me is your growth and development. You know what I mean? That's the most important thing to me. And what I mean by that is, I really don't care too much how you feel. You know what I mean? I don't. You know what I mean? I want to know what you're going to do about it. I want to know, what are you learning in the process of dealing with that pain? Stay with me. I'm going somewhere. When I was a kid, I remember I was 6 years old, and this was probably the most. Um, Again, I've gone through a lot. You know what I mean? I've gone through a lot. You know, um, and for some of you who've been with me for a minute, is man, he's repeating himself. But stay with me, please, man, because I need you to understand the process. I need you to understand my plight. You know what I mean? A 2 year old kid, I see my father murder my mom, stab her multiple times. Okay? I'm raised with my aunt, my father's youngest sister. We're in church, extremely religious, extremely, they're Christian, they're extremely fanatical. You know what I mean? Extremely. And so we had all these conventions, and all these preachers would come, and they would pull me out of the group and man talk to me, and pull me up to the front, lay hands on me. Man, God's gonna bless you. You're gonna be this mighty man of God, and man, God's gonna use you, and we'll do. And man, I never wanted to do any of that. I never wanted to be a preacher. I never wanted to be that guy. You know what I mean? I never wanted to be that guy. Stay with me. And so, 6 year old kid, I'm sitting in my room, and I would go in my room and I would cry out to God, all the time. Crying, praying for my family to get off of drugs, just interceding for my family. Stay with me. I'm going somewhere. And finally, one day, as a 6 year old kid, I went to God, and man, I was talking to God, and I told God, as a 6 year old kid, I remember this like it happened 2 weeks ago. You know what I mean? As if it just happened last week. I'm 51 years old. I was talking to God, and I said, God, man, I'll do it. I'll preach, I'll teach, I'll do whatever you want me to do. I'll go wherever you want me to go. All I ask you is for five things. Give me 5 things, and I'll do whatever you want me to do. And as a 6 year old kid, I'm making a plea, I'm making a deal with God. Stay with me, I'm going somewhere. And as that the deal was, man, God, give me the strength of Samson, you know, give me the love of David, give me the wisdom of Solomon, give me the faith of Job, and give me the teaching ability of Paul. That's all that I ask for. Give me those 5 characteristics, those 5 traits, and I'll go and say whatever you want me to say. And I never heard God answer me back. I've heard God talk to me a lot, even as a kid, but He never responded to me. Stay with me, I'm going somewhere. And the next week, I was molested by a church member. And then it happened again. I was devastated. Stay with me. I just finished praying, crying out to God, telling God, man, just give me these 5 things, these 5 characteristics of these 5 men. I didn't ask for wealth. I didn't ask for fame. I didn't ask for a bunch of money. I didn't ask for all of that, popularity. I didn't ask for all of that stuff. You know what I mean? Man, just give me these 5 characteristics that I felt as a kid, as a 6 year old kid, that I needed to do whatever God wanted me to do. And I would do anything He asked of me. The love of David, the strength of Samson, the wisdom of Solomon, the faith of Job, and the teaching ability of Paul. And I would go anywhere, do anything that God asked me to do. And then I get molested by church people. Family, man, that flipped my whole world upside down. That was completely devastating to a 6 year old kid. Stay with me. Because I never heard God say deal. I never heard God say bet. I never heard God say, okay, Elijah, I agree to your terms. You know what I mean? I never heard God say any of that. What happened was I got molested. You know what I mean? In my mind, that told me that God didn't give a crap about me. In my mind, God told me, man, you're not worthy enough to be my man. You're not worthy enough to speak on my behalf. You're not worthy enough to go do what I want you to do. That's how I processed that as a 6 year old kid. I began to hate God. I believe that, man, what did I do to deserve all of this? What did I do to deserve the wrath of God? Stay with me, I'm going somewhere. What did I do as a little kid to lose my mom the way that I did? What did I do as a little kid to deserve to be sexually abused the way that I was? Twice by Christian people. What did I do to deserve to be brought up in this hellish family that's always telling me that I got the devil in me, that's always telling me that I'm going to hell, that's always telling me that I'm stupid and I'm dumb and I'm going to end up in prison for the rest of my life like my dad, or I'm going to be dead before I'm 18? What did I do as a 6 year old kid to deserve this? So, in my mind, man, I must be stupid. In my mind, I must be dumb. In my mind, I must have the devil in me. Because even God won't talk to me anymore. Even God won't even listen to my prayers. Even God ain't protecting me. God's so loving. God is so powerful, and all this other stuff that they were saying in church. And I believe that. But for whatever reason, He didn't protect me. For whatever reason, I had to go through what I went through as a 6 year old kid. Stay with me, I'm going somewhere. And so I lived my life like, man, I ain't got nothing to lose. It's all bad. I'm going to hell anyways. I'm about to bust it wide open. I'm about to bust hell wide open. Because I don't even care no more. Because God tried the church saying, yeah, God turned his back on me just like he did Jesus or whoever. You know what I mean? It's like, what did I do to deserve this? It ain't fair. It wasn't fair. You know what I mean? And so, man, I got this mentality, man, when I see God, man, I'm taking flight. As soon as I see God, I'm hitting him dead in his grill. He lucky I can't take no gun or nothing up there with me. But as soon as I see him, I'm hitting him dead in his mouth. That was my mentality. I'm taking flight. If I ever see him, I'm going to slap the dog crap out of him. That was my mentality because I was hurt and I was confused and I didn't have anybody in my life trying to help me and trying to guide me, trying to help me understand what it was that I was dealing with. Stay with me. I'm going somewhere. A few years ago, I was driving and I don't remember where I was driving. And me and God, we've reestablished our connection and, um, but I never asked him about all of the stuff about being a kid. Why did I have to go through all that? You know what I mean? Um, and we never had that conversation. For whatever reason, it's like I actually forgot about it. You know what I mean? It was buried deep within my subconscious. You know what I mean? Again, I stress doing shadow work. I stress going into your subconscious thoughts and pulling out all of that madness. You know what I mean? Because it was still there. It was still there, but it was so buried up under my brother dying from colon cancer. It was so buried up under my wife dying from breast cancer and all the other stuff that I endured afterwards as a young man, And so it's like, man, dealing with that stuff is like, man, I ain't even got time for it. And I didn't even understand it. I didn't even realize that I was still holding on to that. You know what I mean? Stay with me. I'm going somewhere. So a few years ago, I'm driving and God brings that back to me. And he asked me a question. Why are you still mad? Why are you so mad? You got everything you wanted. That's exactly what he said was, why are you so mad? You got everything you wanted. And if you know me, man, that just because it came out of nowhere. We weren't even talking. I mean, we had been talking in the past, but at that moment, prior leading up to that, the few minutes prior to that, we wasn't talking. He just came out of the blue. Elijah, why are you mad? You've gotten everything you wanted. It's like, what are you talking about? Because I don't have everything I want. What are you talking about? He's like, you've gotten everything you wanted. Why are you so mad? And so I'm like, God, I don't understand what you're talking about. What are you talking about? And he said, why are you so mad? You've gotten everything you wanted. He said it 3 times. I'm like, what the heck? He said, Elijah, you asked for the love of David. You've gotten that. You've gotten everything you asked for as a 6-year-old kid. And if you know me, man, that sent me to laugh. I'm pissed. I'm heated now. You know what I mean? I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? I didn't get nothing that I asked for. And I still don't understand now because he brought it up. Man, that was a trigger. That's all I needed. Man, it just, poof, you know what I mean? You're having a bad mood. You're in a bad mood, and the wrong person bump into you. The wrong person say something to you, and you're at that point. The next month, say something to me. Man, they catching all this. And somebody not even knowing, somebody not even aware that you having a bad day, somebody completely oblivious to what you're going through look at you sideways, say something to you sideways, and you just let it go. You know what I mean? They catch all of your pain, all your suffering. They catch every bit of it. You know what I mean? That's how I was with God. Man, I went in deep. I went in hard. You know what I mean? Just on one. Just on one. And I can imagine God sitting there just shaking his head. This little ignorant. You know what I mean? I can just imagine him just shaking his head like, you know? So he said again, Elijah, you've gotten everything that you wanted. You wanted the love of David. You got that. You are the one of the most loving, compassionate souls walking on this planet. You love everybody. There's not one person that you hate. There's not one person that you despise. Out of all the people that did you wrong, out of all the women that's left you, out of all the things that you've gone through, out of all the people that's dogged you out, there's not one person that you hate. You stopped hating your father even after you told him you were going to kill him. When he was sick and you knew he was going to pass away, you went and saw him. You drove the 9 hours to go visit him, to take your kids to go see him. You went and forgave him and asked him to forgive you. You're one of the, he's never asked you to forgive him. He's never apologized for what he did, and yet you still loved him. You got the love of David. The strength of Samson, man, you got that. You got that. You may not be physically strong, but you may not be physically as strong as Samson. But man, mentally, emotionally, you're every bit as strong as Samson, if not stronger. People ask you all the time, how can you go through all the hell that you went through and still be here? How can you have gone through all of that and not be angry? How could you have gone through all of that and be so loving and so kind and so giving and so forgiving, so compassionate, so tolerant? How can you do that? People don't understand the strength of your mind. People don't understand the strength of your heart, how you could be as strong as you are. How could you not be strung out on drugs? How could you not be locked up in prison angry right now? How could you not have lost your mind and be walking the streets completely oblivious to anything and everything going on? Oh, you got that strength. You asked for wisdom, the wisdom of Solomon. Man, you got that. Why are you still mad? People don't understand how you know what you know. People are blown away once you start talking and the wisdom and the insight that you share with them. And you've had that for years. How could you know all the things you know? And you got people telling you, oh, that's from the devil, that's this and that's this. That's them ignorant people talking. That's them jealous people talking. That's them hateful people talking. Because they can't understand where you get it from. You can't read books and become wise. You can't listen to audio tapes and people talk about philosophy and all this other stuff and become wise. You don't get wisdom from reading. You don't get wisdom from listening to people. I gave you that wisdom. You wanted the faith of Job. Man, you got that. You got every bit of the faith of Job. All the stuff that you've gone through. How could you not understand that you had that faith? How could you not understand that you had that type of faith? You believe that everything is always working out for you. You believe that with every fiber of your being. You believe that it's all good. You tell people that all the time. That's that faith. That's that unbreakable faith. Oh, you got that. You asked for the teaching ability of Paul. Man, you got that. People are blown away once you start talking to these young kids, to these young adults, and to the elderly, and to the people your age group. Once you start talking to them one-on-ones or in small groups, and they're just sitting and they're just mesmerized and they're just like blown away, waiting for every word to come out of your mouth. You got that anointing. You got that power. Why are you so mad? Why are you still angry about that? You've gotten everything that you wanted. Did you think that I was going to just give you that stuff? Did you think that I was going to just give you wisdom? Did you think that I was going to just give you strength? Did you think that I was going to give you love? Did you think I was going to give you faith? Did you think I was going to just give you that teaching ability? Just by on you, just blessed and anointed, and you know what I mean? That like it's sprinkle dust or gold dust or whatever. I was going to just boom, 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 and you're all that? Did you think that was going to happen? That's what you thought was going to happen, honey Elijah. You didn't think you was going to have to go through anything. You thought I was going to just sprinkle some water over your head, sprinkle some gold dust over your head, and you was going to have all this wisdom. You was going to have all this faith, all this love, all this strength, all this ability to talk and teach and help people understand. That's what you thought, huh? He said, no, I don't work like that, Elijah. I don't work like that. You asked for those things, and I gave you circumstances in your life that brought about those things. You asked for wisdom. You asked for strength. You asked for faith. You asked for love. You asked for all these things. And I put circumstances in your life to show you that you already have these things. I put circumstances in your life to reveal these things within you. They were already there. You just didn't know how to tap into it. You just didn't believe that you had it. So all the hellish things that you went through, man, that was just to reveal to you who you were. That was just to reveal to you who you are and your abilities. Family, it's all good. I don't care what you've gone through. I don't care what you're going through. Understand that it's all going to work out for your greater good. It always does. But the problem is not that it doesn't work out for our greater good. The problem is that we have toxic thinking. The problem is we think that we're a freaking victim. And because we hold on to that freaking victim mentality, we think it's all bad. We think this stuff ain't fair. It's all good. We have to change our perspective. We have to change the way we see things. Everything that I've gone through, and I've said this before, everything that I've gone through, man, I would go through it again gladly. It don't matter what I got to go through. It don't matter what I have to go through in life at all. Why? Because I know that it's all good. I know that it's all going to work out for my greater good. Yes, it may hurt. Just like when I lost my wife. Man, it was devastating. It was freaking devastating. But it's all good. It taught me so much. I've grown so much. It's all good, family. It's all good. We have to understand who we are. And it's these trials, it's these obstacles, these circumstances in life that reveal to us who we really are. That's why we go through what we go through. It's not because you're bad. It's not because you're not loved. It's not because of in that ignorant stuff that we think. It's to show us who we are. It's to show us the love within us. It's to show us how strong we are. It's to show us how unbreakable we are. And so when I say it's all good, family, I mean it's all good. And I don't mean any disrespect to anyone in regards to what they're going through at all. I'm just here to show you that it's all good. There's something in that for you to learn from. There's something in that for you to grow from. You have to be humble enough and receptive enough to sit back and say, okay, man, what is this teaching me? What am I supposed to learn from this? because I wouldn't be going through it if I wasn't supposed to learn something. I love you guys. Man, I love you guys. My hope and prayer is that, man, we learn to get out of our own way. You know what I mean? We learn to slow down. You know, we're in such a race. We're in such a hurry. You know what I mean? We're in such a hurry. Man, if we could just slow down and just relax. You know what I mean? Relax. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. And when you understand that, when you truly believe that with every fiber of your being, man, that'll eliminate your stress. That'll eliminate depressions and all these other different things. Because, man, I'm not tripping off anything. I don't have to have anxiety. I don't have to have depression. I don't have to have fear. I don't have to have doubt and worry and all. I don't have to have all that stuff. I don't have to live with that stuff. And, man, when you're not living with all that stuff, man, you have such great joy. You have such great peace of mind. Why? Because, you know, man, it's all good. It's all good. I always win. I always win. Everything is always working out for me. All things work together for my good. I ain't got the trip. All I have to do is understand the lesson. All I have to do is put myself in a place to where I can grow. I love you guys. Happy healing. Peace.